at. I actually taught myself to play guitar by writing original songs. I didn't know any chords, I didn't know how to play, and the first songs that I wrote comprised of just a couple notes. So you can write really interesting and complex songs with very limited ingredients, so to say. You can take just 2 notes and make a whole song. You can take one hand shape and make a whole song. So don't feel like you need to know every single thing about the instrument in order to start being creative with it. First song that I ever wrote on guitar is comprised of 2 notes that repeat. I find myself craving a new name for myself. That song is titled Be Somebody. Either way, that's just the prelude to this actual video. So this video is really going to be about like kind of sharing my songwriting process as someone who doesn't really know how to play guitar. Right before we get into the video, I wanted to say thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Oh my gosh, I never thought I would say that sentence. I have had a Patreon for like several years, but I've never talked about it. And someone specifically asked if I had one, so I said, oh my gosh, I do. Thank you, Mark, for being my very first patron on Patreon. Oh my gosh. If you want to join, there's a link in the description. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna say there's like 3 phases to the songwriting process. The first of which is musically, how should it sound? Feeling out what kind of vibe or notes that you want. The next part is going to be journaling, kind of writing out your thoughts and picking out some of the more punchy or interesting sounding thoughts. After you journal your heart out, you combine those 2 pieces. You play the little something that you thought of playing while you read out some of those lyrics. And some of those lyrics will naturally just drop off the face of the earth and not be used. And some will take you down a new rabbit hole. And you just kind of go back and forth between playing and singing, playing and journaling, until you have kind of a formed song. And then after you write the song, I have what's called post-care. This is where I listen to the song on repeat, because I record voice memos whenever I record. I listen to the song on repeat until it stops feeling restless. So for me, a restless song is something that still has something unresolved, like maybe the lyrics aren't quite there yet and I need to change a little bit of something there. Maybe the energy of the song should be a little bit different. Listening to the song repeatedly helps me iron out and like put the stamp of approval on the song. So the inspiration just sort of came to me throughout the day. I'm a very reflective, introspective person, so as I'm reflecting on my life, I had a certain thought come to mind. And the thought was, I'm done silently disagreeing with you. It's time you learned what I think about you. How edgy. But that's the thought that came to mind, and that's what I want to write a song about. Usually the things that I write songs about are like these hidden parts of me that I feel like need further processing, because throughout my life I've been a kind of quiet person that's kind of kept to myself. By the time I was about like 18, I started to come out of my shell, but before that I was very, very private and introverted. So let's figure out how we're gonna write this together. So I have this up on my Google Docs, and I'm going to delete any other words that I happen to have used because I don't want any other words. And I'm going to put them at the bottom of the document. So if I want to use them later, I can always go back and use them, but I want in my line of sight the only concepts that I'm keeping right now. So there we go. So now that we have our concept, let's figure out where these words belong. If you are like me and just starting out to play and you haven't really learned guitar yet, what I do recommend is just to play notes and see what sounds good. So like in the song Be Somebody I showed you in the beginning, it's a C chord, but it's just those 2 notes that change. And it's that 3rd finger that when you pick it up, that's what creates the melody, so to say. And then, I don't know, I just kind of explore the guitar. Nope. Yeah. I just kind of explore the guitar and let whatever wants to come out, come out. It's really all about just creating those patterns, really, and finding which patterns sound good to you right now. So, anyway, we were here to write a song. Nope, that's not what I want. So right now I'm just kind of playing random stuff until something sounds like what I want. now it's time to play that and journal. So developments. So as I was like journaling, sometimes I switch between journaling and like playing random stuff just to see how it sounds. I picked out this new pattern. Oop, it goes like this. So again, very, very simple shapes that you're just kind of experimenting and really listening to the music and allowing like the sound to guide you more than your like musical knowledge. And what's interesting to me, and this is what I love about songwriting, is like the initial concept was pretty angry. But when I start writing, thinking about these things, thinking about these memories, what comes out is much like softer and like sadder. First lyrics are almost never the lyrics to stay. Some of them might, but most of them will likely go. Listen to this. Flipping stars in the night sky, spotted up my vision for you. I can't help thinking about you. Wish I knew what to think about you. Who you love is not soft and magical about all that. First lyrics are almost never the lyrics to stay. Some of them might, but most of them will likely go. To hear some of my first drafts sometimes is such a funny experience because I'm like, girl, what are you thinking? But the first draft has to sound crappy just because like it's this jumbled mess coming out. It's always really important to think to yourself and to understand that you can always change things, improve as you go. So never ever ever judge the first words that come out on the page, you know? I mean, don't even judge the last ones. This is just about being very human. It's a very human experience to sing songs, isn't it? It's one of the oldest things we ever did, huddled around a campfire as cavemen, singing about life, you know? It's a way to connect with people, it's a way to connect to ourselves. And I think in this capitalist society, we just kind of forget about that. And we think that this is something that we have to like monetize and like we have to be good at it. And if people hear us, we must be good at it. It has to make sense and it has to be profitable, it has to be marketable. But none of that is really true. At the end of the day, we are just human beings having a human experience, and songs and songwriting is just part of that. I'll keep playing with this, give you updates as we go. Alrighty, so here's some random lyrics, we'll see if they work. If I could rewind time, I wouldn't try to do anything right. I would just breathe and be alive with you. You know, you songwrite as a journal writing process, right? And so like half of the song I have a very specific memory in mind, but the second half I have something else in mind. And they kind of hold very different, opposing, almost opposite messages to me. This last part's talking about how there's so much emphasis on trying to do things the quote-unquote right way that you lose the connection you actually have with the person that's in front of you. Like you let this imagined, like man-made definition of what right and wrong should be get in the way of you connecting and actually like being in that loving relationship with someone. That judgment will always erase love. Love cannot exist within judgment. Because to judge is to want someone to be different. In my opinion, like very true love means to like accept someone with everything that they are. Well, I'm gonna kind of throw all that together now that I have this kind of song really roughly written, now I have to go through and edit it so that the themes stay coherent. Like I just mentioned, some of the themes get very muddied. Some of the ways that you can edit your themes is to pay attention to who the speaker is and who the audience is. There are sometimes when I write songs where I'm like using the word you, but who is you? Like, is that the person who has wronged you? Is it the person that you love? Is it like, who are they? Make a character for them, and then make sure every single time you use the word you, it's the same person, that it doesn't change or mutate, because sometimes when I write, it'll often do that. And then also just to make sure that like, the message that you're sending in the song is not only coherently the same message, but that it is delivered somewhere. It starts in point A and ends in point B, that there's a journey that you follow there. So I'm gonna play through the really rough version of this. Maybe it'll turn into something later, but this is one of those songs that will probably just sit in my archives forever, that I probably, well, I guess not, because you guys are hearing it. No, that's the wrong pattern. What is it? That's it. Fickle stars in the night sky spotted up my vision for you. I wish you knew what I knew. I wish you knew the way I think about you. Still something closets, talents deep says, don't you dare let out that scream. Don't you dare let yourself be seen. Or have we taught you nothing? The hardest part is to the hardest part starts to sound like letting go of what protected me then for what protects me now. I'm kicking, screaming inside like the infant you carried one night. Winter solstice, stars align. I'd like to imagine a place where I don't have to be the same. Copy these for you to hold me in your arms. I'm begging for you. Begging for you. Begging for you. If I could rewind time, I wouldn't try to do anything right. I would just breathe and be alive with you. Would you let me rewind time? I wouldn't try to do anything right. I would just breathe and be alive with you. Would you let me? Something like that. What I'm noticing here is that there's not really a chorus. I would like to give it a chorus. I would like to give you a chorus. What should the chorus be? Where would it fit is the first question. Taught you nothing. That's one of my favorite parts. We taught you nothing. You tried. I keep trying to stay in like this weird, I feel like I'm a little boxed in. Do I stay in it or do I leave it? This like, ooh, 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 I feel like I'm boxed in with that. Maybe, we taught you nothing. See, it's like a little boxy. We taught you nothing. You tried. Oh, I kind of like that. Let me record that. I wonder if that could become a chorus. Could. Let me see. We taught you nothing. No, I keep trying to go back to that one thing. Taught you nothing. Bum, bum. If we taught you nothing. Bum, ba, da, 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 da. So one quality of a chorus, for me at least, is that it's kind of like the thesis argument of a song, or like the summary of a song, or whatever the heart or soul of the song is. That's what the chorus is. It's like that little piece you take home with you. So right now the theme is like this conflict between wanting to be seen or known. First one says, don't let yourself be seen. At the end it says, I will be seen. So what would the chorus say? Let me think. Taught you nothing. So now I have to journal again. Or have we taught you nothing? So what's really interesting to me is as you clean up these themes in your head, you're cleaning up your head. Like all these, like what's happening right now is all these like conflicting thoughts and stories are just kind of wrestling around in your head, and when you write them out and like actually organize them, move them around, make them make sense to you, like make them make sense as a song, they start to make sense to you. Okay, this is super cliche, but I'm starting to feel tired of this song. Have we taught you nothing? Knocked out the ring I done. Hey now, are you proud of yourself? Oh, there's something there. What could I do? See, sometimes when you're writing, like, and you start singing, suddenly the correct lyric appears. Knocked out the ring I've done. Hey now, are you proud of yourself? That's probably what I'll use. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I'm glad I didn't abandon it. Okay, this song will be titled Something Else. Or maybe You're Something Else. Oh yay, now it has a name. Typically once it gets a name, that's when it starts cleaning itself up. It's the songwriting process. First draft, done. So at this point, now we would enter the post whatever stage. I would listen to the voice memo I just created on repeat. Oh, it's still recording. As I finish editing the lyrics, now that I have that basic structure done, and now that I found where the magic is. The magic is like in that little chorusy, I like the like, just something else. Like that's just, that's so fun. Several hours later, after I've, you know, listened to it on repeat and kind of pondered, I reorganized the theme of the song to be like very specific and coherent. I really loved that chorus we wrote together talking about the knocked out of the ring. So I took that theme and spread it throughout the song so that it's an extended metaphor. And it's just exploring this concept of like emotionally fighting with someone and making that physical metaphor for it. So here's the song that we just wrote together. It's called You're Something Else. Knocked out of the ring, I'm done. Tell me, are you proud of yourself? Knuckles bloody, God, you're something else. Stretch my wrist, throw a punch, but what's the point of fighting with the ones you claim to love? I guess it's emotional, some say philosophical. I've got to let it go. I know you have your moral codes, you weigh your arguments by the book. To fight the blood or love and let be loved, there must be something understood. My flesh and blood, I was your daughter once. Knocked out of the ring, I'm done. Tell me, are you proud of yourself? Knuckles bloody, God, you're something else. I could admit when I was wrong, but what image would I have learned that from? Self-righteousness is running deep, deprogramming my everything. It isn't fair to have to choose between you and what's left of me. But some odd days I fall asleep and think about what it'd be like if you accepted me. No conditions or false screens. I don't have to be your copy paste. You just love me. Knocked out of the ring, I'm done. Tell me, are you proud of yourself? Knuckles bloody, God, you're something else. Knocked out of the ring, I'm done. Tell me, are you proud of yourself? Knuckles bloody, God, you're something else. dare say we made a banger. It's kind of good. Some of the parts that I really like about it, I always like to have like this balance between like the music that's occurring and the lyrics that you're saying. So I really like at the end where you're talking about you're something else, and then this like kind of surprise chord comes out of nowhere. It's like mirroring the like, are you kidding me? kind of musical vibe, you know? It's also really interesting because when I first picked out these chords and stuff, it sounded like something really whimsical and happy, and now I'm starting to understand subconsciously what's going on there is that wanting for a happier version of events than you have. So I really love, and I also really love this moment where you shift and you're like, some odd days I fall asleep, because you're like turning this like rhythmic, like pushing you forward, daring you, creating conflict, confrontation, and then switching it into like this nice lullaby. Some odd days I fall asleep. And it's like this music that's mirroring the emotional experience that's happening. This is how songwriting can be just like such an incredible, incredible catharsis. I literally wrote this, and the first time that I sang it, I cried a lot at this one part where I talk about, I don't have to be your copy paste, you just love me. Not done, I'm done. Because you're literally knocked out of that gentle melody. You're literally like in this like nice dreamlike state, and then you get knocked right out of it and brought back to reality. It's like, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm dealing with. And it's just like a great way to normalize your experience, this kind of songwriting stuff that happens, because humans will innately want to connect over music. We will innately want to like recognize and see each other. You can't help it. You cannot help it when you hear music, but to connect with each other when you hear it. I think that's just like a really powerful thing to be able to tap into whenever you feel so like alone and like you can't connect with anyone. What a powerful avenue to be able to unlock. And believe me, you can also unlock it. I wrote this song like, I don't even know what chords I don't know what chords they are. It's like I have this like C chord going on, and then I lift up the second finger, but there's nothing that you can't do. You know, like you are powerful. I believe in your power. There's the occasional F chord in there, and that one's a little bit hard. If F is hard for you, press down only this farthest guy and then just play those bottom 3 strings. That's it. That's what I did when I couldn't play F. And then eventually you grow, your muscles will grow. But anyway, I thought it would be like super strange to like record my songwriting process. I thought that it would be very invasive and intrusive. But part of it also feels like very freeing. Like I feel like for a long time songwriting was something that I hid from the world. No one was ever allowed to hear my songs. And so to like record myself writing a song, it feels illuminating. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out with me.